Welcome back, everybody. Happy Monday, August 8th, 2025. Back to school is all up in our faces right now. So we have an update on college enrollment trends just to keep everybody thinking about it. We also have items on counties in the red, a state legislature about face, and a heavy metal snub of sorts. I'm Mike Morgan, and we're down in Alabama.
Hey, Olivia from Ollie here to help you ease into all things back to school. Homework, meal prep, and pickup duty piling up? Goodbye Stress Gummies help you keep your cool. Start the day with Kids Multi and Probiotic for digestive and immune system health. They'll love to take them, and that makes mornings easier. When back to school gets real, Ollie helps you deal. Find these and more at ollie.com or retailers nationwide. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Never mind the effects of the COVID pandemic, Alabama colleges and universities overall have seen significant enrollment growth over the past decade, reports AL.com's Willisha Morris. In 2015, 5 years before COVID, the state's public institutes of higher learning reported just over 243,000 students. A year ago, that number was above 271,000. Now that's modest growth, but Auburn University, Alabama A&M, the University of North Alabama, and the University of West Alabama all saw at least a 25% enrollment increase over that same time period. Part of that growth has been through more high school students taking dual enrollment classes for college credit. Also, there has been a noteworthy growth in the number of out-of-state students. The number of students from Tennessee has increased 42% from 2015 through 2024, also including both 2- and 4-year schools. At just 2-year colleges, there are 43% more students from Florida and 38% more students from Tennessee in Alabama schools. The University of Alabama's student body, the state's largest, is now made up of 56% out-of-state students. Well, Alabama's counties are supposed to balance their budgets each year. They cannot legally run deficits, yet, reports AL.com's Coyote Crown, several do. They include Macon, Hale, Sumter, and Randolph counties. In some years, in a couple of those counties, we've seen deficits over $1 million. Now, that's a lot of money for a smaller county. While the situations among the counties vary a bit, interested parties point to a shared roadblock on the revenue side: the Alabama Constitution's limits on property taxes. Another is that the tax on timber, which is a huge portion of land use in rural areas, is kept so low by the state. Auburn University professor emeritus of rural sociology Connor Bailey said of the counties, quote, "They cannot raise enough tax revenue to support their schools, roads, health clinics, and everything else because valuation of timber is so low, and most of the benefit from that low valuation for tax purposes is going to people who don't live in Sumter County or Randolph County or whatever county," end quote. Auburn professor Wayne Flint criticized the state constitution's restrictions on property taxes made many decades ago. Quote, "The result was a drag on industrial and municipal growth and an encouragement to finance improvements through the sale of bonds, often at high interest rates. The limits on ad valorem taxes forced the state to rely more heavily on licenses, privilege taxes, and after the 1930s, sales taxes. By setting limits on property taxes, they had protected their own financial interests and forced future revenues to be levied from those least able to pay them, creating one of the nation's most regressive tax systems," end quote. Opposition to a new law has turned Alabama Senate President Pro Tem Garland Gudger, a Coleman Republican, against his own legislation, reports AL.com's Patrick Darrington. Gudger's measure, which Governor Kay Ivey signed into law this year, clears the way for a community development district to be created so a resort can be built on Smith Lake. The Coleman Times reported that some Smith Lake residents aren't so happy about that deal, and that the Coleman County Commission even approved a resolution to oppose the new law. All that was enough to get the attention of Gudger, who announced this past Friday that he will introduce a bill for the 26th legislative session to repeal last year's measure. And not to pick on a grieving heavy metal band, but here's one from the This Is Where We Rank files. The current iteration of the metal band Pantera, that's minus the late Abbott brothers, missed a few shows at the end of July as the members mourned Ozzy Osbourne, reports AL.com's Mary Colurso. Ozzy was not only a hero to the guys in Pantera, but was also a personal friend and mentor. Two of the skipped gigs were for July 28th and 31st in New York and New Jersey. Those shows have been rescheduled, and the Holmdel, New Jersey show will now take place September 8th, replacing a date the band had scheduled to play Birmingham's Coca-Cola Amphitheater. There are no plans to make up the Birmingham date. Thank y'all so much for listening to us. We're going to be back here in the morning. Until then, y'all come out and see what we're doing on the internet at al.com.